Hello, gorgeous. Okay, I'm so excited to be back here with you. I am Kim Benjamin, and this is my lovely cohort, Nicole Kaufman, and we will do a brief intro. We are actually doing a series of recordings talking about some very fun, specific topics. Today, we're going to talk about, are you too much? And so, if you don't know me, I am a life coach. I call myself an emotional intelligence coach because I believe that, and again, I thank Stanford for this research, that our emotions drive our actions, whether we're aware of them or not. So, my goal working with women is to support them to become aware of what's driving their actions. And I am here with, as I said, my lovely cohort, and I'm going to let Nicole share what she does because she does it so brilliantly. Every time she introduces herself, I'm like, I want to go back. I want to go back and do it. But go ahead.
Uh, I'm riffing it just like you are. I am Nicole Kaufman. I am a licensed clinical mental health counselor. Got all the licenses and all it took all the tests and everything. And I am here to let you feel your feelings, but I don't want you to just feel your feelings. We're going to make a plan. We're going to make sense of it and try to level up our lives. And once we understand where those feelings are coming from, and it is not all your childhood. Damn it.
Thank
It's
you.
not. I'm
It's
just
not.
telling you. All that to say, I work with high achieving people, love working with high achieving women, and we get you the mental health you need, get you where you need to go. And even when you go there, you come back. I have so many boomerang clients that come back to me and they say, gosh, it's been a minute since I've seen you, but this happened. Can I come back? And I'm like, yes, yes, yes. So yes, I am the therapist with the boomerang tendency, and which is so beyond flattering, by the way. But yes, today we're talking about are you too much? But before we get into that, you want to say a little bit about the Alchemy Room and Alchemy Circle, just to let everybody know where they can go to see more of us, more of our materials, more of our loveliness. It can be found there.
Woo, I like it. First, I want to address the boomerang therapist. I love that. So here's the thing, and this is really, really, I think, very supportive for the kind of work that we do. We all, if we're intelligent, and the more intelligent you are, and yes, I'm grouping Nicole and I in that category, of course, but the more intelligent you are, the more you think you should have it figured out, the more you think you should know, the more you tend to shame yourself, the more you tend to judge yourself, the more you tend to go, well, I should know better. I shouldn't do that. I should be aware of this, which ties into our subject today about are you too much? And this is the work we do. So, boomerang is perfect because what's going to happen is we're going to sail along and then we're going to bump into something that feels new, that feels unfamiliar. And we're going to, guess what? Kick back into some familiar habits. So,
Mhm,
supporting
mhm,
women to understand that no, you didn't screw up. No, you haven't failed. No, you haven't made a mistake. You just bumped into something kind of creepy and you just went back
mhm.
to security familiar mode. And that's why we're here because we all do that because we're human beings. And that's what we do in the alchemy room. I started to say the alchemy community because it is a community. It's where we gather. And Nicole and I show up and do things like this because we have such a good time doing it. And she always cracks me up. And I always leave like some little new slogan that I want to hold on to. Special Snowflakes is still one of my favorites. And so that is actually a free community where we have all of these resources and all these tools and all the stuff. And then we have the Alchemy Circle, which is actually the program that we're putting together. It is 12 modules, and there are three different ways that you can absorb it. You can do complete self-study, which I would probably do too, which is self-guided. You go at your own pace. We have what we call a hybrid version where you get to join us and see more of our lovely faces, including this, which I explained in the very first video. So go back and watch that video. And then you'll understand this whole story. And then we have what we call our VIP, the red thread. And we call it the red thread because that means that Nicole and I are standing there with you, and there is a thread that we're holding on to so that you understand because you're a busy, successful, high achieving, I call them overachieving women. And you
Or
need
more.
something to hold
Yeah.
on to when you're drowning in that pool of overachievement. So you get a lot of VIP treatment, a lot of special touches, things like that. And that is what we're creating right now. And this is just to show you like what some of that'll look like, how that'll work. And there you go. And so are you too much, Nicole? Do you think you're too much?
Yes, I would say assume yes. No
Yes.
hesitation. Yes, yes, I am. And I embrace that
Damn glad of it.
wholeheartedly.
Yes.
Wholeheartedly. Yeah, and I think as a social construct, the too much issue is, or too much trope. I think it's a trope at this point. Um, eh, and I think it comes from a variety of different places. I think social media has made us too much. If we post online all the time, and our lives are a series of posts, and look at me and look at what my life is happening, or what is happening in my life, and all of those things. I think that's what has, kind of coined this too much phrase. Um, Also, being in your diagnosis of overwhelm, oh, I'm just so overwhelmed right now, everything is just so much. um that I think has fueled this whole too much concept. um it's kind of a put on, right, of drama. And the more dramatic you are, right, the more clicks you get and the more audience you have. And it is attractive in a certain kind of way, but at the same time, is that what you want? So this too much thing, and we see it in dating too, right? Oh, I was just too much for him. And because I have standards, and because I have boundaries, and because I have expectations, right? And for the love of Pete, can we just slow it down a little bit? I think that's part of the problem here of being too much, is that we're dumping so much on people now all at once. So I've said a bunch of different things. I've dropped a bunch of huge words. But the too much concept, I think, comes from a lot of different areas and can be construed a lot of different ways. What do you think, Kim?
Well, I love all the things that you said. And yes, drama divas. Julia Cameron in her book, The Artist Way, calls them crazy makers. Okay. So
Mhm.
we talk about too much. Like I think about, okay, what is your definition of too much? Too much of what? Like, did I put too much whipped cream on your sundae? Did I like what is too much? Because we each have a different definition. And I loved what you said about social media. I loved all the things that you brought in, all the different points, because we've talked about this in the past and some things we've done. Like, your nervous system gets accustomed to a certain adrenaline rush. And even when we're trying to modify and shift behavior, we will discover that we're like, why did I do that? Well, because your body's going, hey, 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 where's my fix? Because we get accustomed to being too much. Honestly, I'm having such a difficult time with social media because it is just, I just want to like stop the noise.
Mm.
So I feel like too much gets to be a personal definition, which is why, I'm always bringing human design into this. Because, for example, I am a manifester. I am supposed to be on 20% of the time and 80% of the time. So literally, if I have 5 hours worth of calls in a day, I don't want to see anybody for 24 hours because I am
Mm.
just depleted. If you're a projector or
Mhm.
if you're a reflector, this also gets to be a big deal where you need to have time alone. But society, the world, the conditioning, what we're taught is no, we should be on all the time. We should be in
Mm.
community all the time. We should be posting all the time. Like, I forget to post because I'm enjoying the moment. So, what is too much? Too much for me is when we turn it into, I love what you said, is when we turn it into martyrdom or victim status. When
Hmm.
we decide not to be in ownership, like I asked you, and you said, yes, I'm too much. I own it. Me too.
Mhm.
I'm too much for some
Mhm.
people. And for some people,
Yes.
I'm not enough.
Mhm.
So really, like, am I making myself a victim by being too much? Am I being a
Right.
martyr? That's one of my favorite payoffs is being a martyr. I really like that martyrdom thing. My sister
Mhm.
used to tell me I was queen of passive aggressiveness because I would be a martyr and then I would be like, oh, I'm so unappreciated. And so I'd be passive aggressive. So
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
we all have a proclivity to go in any of these directions.
Mhm.
So what gets to be too much for you? For me, and this is what I believe that we are really working to support women with, is understanding who you are. Like, and yeah, you're going to be too much for some people. And yeah, you're going to be not enough for some. Who are
Yeah.
you? Are you
Mhm.
making that into a medal that you have to wear? Whose standards are you trying to live up to? Who's telling you you're too much? Why are you telling yourself you're too much? If you believe you're too
Mhm.
much, what is it you want to let go of? So, what do you think? Emotional intelligence, emotional maturity, ownership?
Absolutely. Well, the whole victim thing gets, I think that's old at this point, and everybody will say, well, I get it in my practice all the time because everybody loves to come and flex their mental health vocabulary on the therapist like the first few times. And I appreciate that. It's kind of like how many buzzwords can you use or academic words can you use? And I'm not saying that you don't know what they mean, but people think that, okay, because I have the accurate mental health term for it, then that means it's true. And
No.
I'm here to tell you, absolutely effing not is the case.
Thank you.
Because yeah, I mean, quite, and here's an example. Well, I grew up with some trauma. Hmm. So, that makes, that just makes me, XYZ. That is why I do what I do. Okay. Okay. You
Cool.
know, and yeah, I'm like, well, um, if that's what you want to buy into, and if that's where if that's how you choose to define yourself, well then okay. But what if you defined yourself completely different? I mean, what if that just wasn't true? But the trauma, yeah, but the trauma. And
Yeah.
we can be and define ourselves in a different way in spite of the trauma instead of saying we are a certain way because of the trauma. See the nuance, the difference? Oh, well,
Right.
I thought trauma meant, yeah. And there have been a lot of books written on trauma that, that trauma just paves the way for being a certain way the rest of your life. No, and anybody who says that is just trying to sell some books, and
I,
and God love them, they've sold a lot of books, and they've sold people a lot of but that is not true. It is just not true. In my practice, that's not true. You are not your trauma, and your trauma does not make you too much, and your mental health diagnosis does not make you too much. and
yes.
and that whole, and to me, if you're doing that, then you're a victim of your mental health diagnosis, or you're a trauma victim, as they say.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, not having that. I'm standing on my soapbox, you can't even see it.
You're not having it. There you go. We're not having it. Here's the
Yeah.
thing. This is, and we go through this. I mean, in the 12 modules that we go through in the Alchemy Circle, talking about all these different things, and we go through how this works. So this is really, again, I want to make a disclaimer. I don't care about human design, but I talk about loving human design because it's an awareness tool. Because what you learn through human design is wow. Yes, I may have a proclivity toward this certain type of reaction. This is how my energy works. And it's all about awareness. Okay, so now that I know this, what do I want to choose? And that is the
Mhm.
foundation of our program. It is 3 concepts: awareness, where I talk a lot about human design and I help you to support to understand. Because, hello, who hasn't had trauma in their childhood? Can I see a show of hands? I don't care if you had Ozzie and Harriet parents and everything was lovely. From a child's perspective, there's going to be something that created some degree of trauma for you because you didn't understand what was going on. Your dad worked all night one night for your favorite baseball game or when they were supposed to be there, and you're going to have a sense of abandonment because you don't have the ability to understand. So in human design, you get to understand like, this is how my energy works. These are what they call my shadows or my challenges. How do I want to see those? So we do awareness in the first section to understand that. And then you dive into beautiful, let's get to work, choice. What do you want to
Mhm.
choose? What do you want to choose? How do you want to see yourself going forward? Okay, I get that until now you saw yourself as a victim and it was trauma and you couldn't do anything about it. Okay, clean slate, new day. Hello. What do you want to do now? Where do you want to go now? What do you want to achieve
There we go.
now? And then we get into the final part. So I call this ACT, ACT. The final part is transformation. That's when we actually support you to practice all these things so that when you bump up into something big and hairy and spiky and ugly, you go, oh, and we go, yes, that's okay. You can go this way.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes. So, too much? We're probably all too much. How do you want to
In our
define
own
too?
way, yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
want to do? What do you want to do now? Okay,
Oh,
so thank you. I always love
yes.
hanging out with you. I always love doing this.
Yes.
And we get to
Yeah.
rock and roll because we have some other things we want to talk about. And I just want to say, hey, come on, girls. It's a free community. You get to hear stuff like this all the time. Little short clips about really key points in your life, real life things with,
Yeah. No sugarcoating. We're not
yeah,
sugarcoating. None of it.
we don't do that very well. We curse maybe. Yeah, yeah, but you know, but we tell it like it effing is. Okay. So let's do
Yeah.
this.
That's
Okay.
it. Yay. Hard hands. Yay.